Thank you. We are live. Rogers away. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. We don't have the phone set up yet, though.
I know. Okay, can we use yours?
Is your phone dead?
That's kind of close to it.
All right, we're getting our Instagram set up. Bear with us here. All right. It's on Live Savage Instagram, not Keto Savage. Live Savage, going live. Turn the screen around. Boom, checking connection. All right, up and running. How you doing, buddy?
He just woke up.
He just woke up. All right, so we're gonna do a little talk today. Was that crooked? On training splits to start the day off with. So training splits is the topic for today. Do you want to talk about training splits? I saw that your post that you're wanting to mix it up a little bit with your training.
I didn't talk to him about it yet.
How come?
I get really bored. So this is actually perfect for this conversation. I get really bored with my workouts I'd say about every 8 weeks. And I think we've been doing this for a lot longer than 8 weeks, right?
I feel like we've been doing the full body split for probably about 3 months now, I would say. I think I started in November. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyways, I get kind of bored of things. So I like to challenge myself in different ways. And so I'm feeling like I'm ready for a different change. But I mean, there is a million different ways that you can challenge yourself. Like, it really depends on how many days per week you have to work out, or you'll make time for. So there's like 3-day splits. Should we just like start with 3 and then work up?
Yeah. So let's just start from the bare bones basic. If someone doesn't have any exercise experience, they're not really in tune with their body, where should they start with working out? I would say a simple, push, pull, leg, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is going to be the easiest with the lowest barrier to entry. That's going to work well for a lot of people. And then as you progress, you can increase that frequency pretty easily by just simply repeating that. So do, push, pull, legs, and then just simply do push, pull, legs for like a 6-day split if you wanted to. So you could easily accomplish the same thing by doubling it and increasing the training frequency. Yeah. From there,
push means to any pushing movement. So like chest, tricep, shoulders, you're always pushing. Pull means you're always pulling. So like bicep curl, you're pulling. So biceps, and then your back, you're always in the pulling motion as well.
Yes. From there, I would say most people typically progress to a body part split, which is like an arm day, a chest day, a back day.
Every body part on a different day.
Yeah, and sometimes people will double those up so they have like back and biceps together because those are pretty complementary muscle groups. They'll have chest and shoulders together, or biceps, triceps together, or like a standalone leg day. I honestly did a body part split throughout the vast majority of my training history. I mean, pretty much 98% of what I've done has been a body part split. I've only recently been playing around with a full body routine. And the body part split works pretty well for me. I will say this though. A lot of people do the full body or body part split because they see it in a magazine that some pro level IFBB competitor said, hey, this is the split I'm doing. The thing about that is you can't really, if you're a natural athlete, you're going to need a little bit longer recovery time than someone that's taking performance enhancing drugs. And you're probably not going to get the most bang for the buck if you're doing a single body part once a week. I used to do that because that's what the magazine said. So I would have like one leg day a week, one back day a week, and I would just annihilate that muscle group. I would be in the gym for 2-3 hours on that single muscle group. And then there's a point of diminishing returns as a natural athlete, like doing that much intensity, that much volume for a single muscle group, but then waiting another 7 days before you do it again. You're likely not going to be making the most of the training session. It's going to be so long before you train it again that you're not tapping into the frequency aspect of it. So I don't really recommend that. Most of the research suggests that if you're targeting a specific muscle group at least about 2 times a week, that's a pretty good way to hedge your bets.
If I were going to do it again and like redo things, I probably would hit every body part twice a week other than biceps and triceps.
Yeah, you could also do like weak point training. Like if you have really
Yeah.
developed biceps, you probably don't need to train biceps as frequently as an underdeveloped body part, like
Yeah.
shoulders, for instance.
And my legs need a lot of work. And I'm not one of those girls that's like, I'm going to go do glutes every single day. And I'm not that girl. I don't actually think you should do glutes every single day. Unless you're doing it like we are where we're doing full body splits. But my legs could probably use to be kind of crushed to about, I'd say 2 times a week. I think 3 times a week is just stealing away from other body parts. But I think 2 times a week would be definitely good for sure.
And one split that I really do enjoy doing, which is what I've done throughout my last competition prep, was an 8-day split. There's 7 days in a week. How do you possibly do an 8-day split?
Yeah.
It doesn't fall on the same day every week. So, for instance, chest day is not always on Monday. Because it's over an 8-day rotation, you're just kind of like going through that rotation and then it falls on a different day, which I think is good because then you don't get caught in a rut of like, oh, you're always exhausted on Mondays and whatever you're training on Mondays always suffers because it's always the same thing. By having this rotational, protocol in which you're training on a different day, you can kind of like spread those good and bad days out a little bit more as an average across all muscle groups. The way I structured the 8-day split was that I was training basically 2 muscle groups a day, one with a heavy focus, one with a hypertrophy focus, so that on the heavy day, it typically consisted of fewer reps, but just heavier weight. And then the hypertrophy day was more of a blood flow focus, hypertrophy, 12 to 15 rep range with a slightly lighter weight. And I like that. And the way I had it structured is that, whatever, like say I was doing heavy back hypertrophy delts, the next time I did back and delts, it would swap. So then it would be heavy delts, hypertrophy back. So everything's really you're kind of tapping into the best of both worlds, so to speak, heavy hypertrophy focus, and you're training each muscle group twice.
And then I will say, like Robert said, he likes to not do the same body part every single time. Like every Monday he does chest, every Tuesday he does legs, whatever. He doesn't like that because of possibly, not having enough energy on Mondays or being exhausted by Friday or whatever. I'm a creature of habit, and I like that. I like knowing what I'm going to do next. I like knowing that every Thursday I'm going to do shoulders or whatever. And then also, I think we're different in the fact that, what was the other thing I was going to say?
Mm-hmm.
What were you just talking about?
About the heavy hypertrophy split, and then training each muscle group twice a week. One heavy focus, one hypertrophy focus.
Nope, I don't know. Anyways, we're a little bit different on that aspect of things. What we tend to do what Robert wants to do, which doesn't mean it's bad for him, but I mean, it's not like he's trying to be mean about it. But he is the one that is competing, and he is the one that is going to kind of direct what we do when we do work out together. We work out together about 3 days a week, and so that can be a little bit difficult for me because I think sometimes what feels good for my body is not what he wants to do, but I want to work out with him. So it's, you kind of like got to make up for it. You kind of got to like fill in the gaps or whatever. And I think that's partly why, like, recently I'm like, I really just want to like switch things up and whatever. But so you really have to like figure out what works for you. And I'm like only saying this because we've done this for years together. We've always worked out together. And sometimes I'm like, I could really use an extra leg day. And he's like, yeah, me too. I could really use an extra leg day too. Or I'm like, I really don't want to do this full body split. What could I do? And then I end up doing my own thing, and we kind of get a little bit sad because we're not doing the same exercises. But you do have to find what works for your own body. And like, I think my recovery takes a little longer than Robert's does. Either that or he's just like way more savage than me because I'm tired or I'm like super sore or whatever. And he's ready to rock and roll. So anyways, you really have to find what works best for you. Figure out how many days a week you can work out. Figure out how much time you have per day to do the workout. Figure out what your access is for like gym and stuff, and then crush it. And then figure out, okay, do I want to separate the body parts? Do I want to do full body? Do I want to do push pull leg? What does the split look like? But there almost isn't a bad choice. The worst thing you can do is overdoing a body part to where you're
The worst thing you can do is not training at all.
Well, yeah. But there is also the fact of like someone's like, I really need to build up my legs, and they go do legs every other day, and they're getting sore, so where they're not working that body part as hard the next time they go in. So they're not actually like getting heavier weights or doing more because they're so sore from the last time that they went in. So you could, benefit from giving yourself some rest too.
Yeah. And just to kind of like round this out, we hadn't really talked about the full body split. I think we had a separate video where we did do the full body split, but we've been doing that for, like I said, about 3 months now. The main thing I like about it is that you get more training frequency. But the main thing, honestly, is that when I'm traveling a lot for conferences, I don't feel like there's any glaring weak spots in my training, because since I'm training everything every single day I train, there's not like I'm not like missing out on a back day or a chest day or a leg day, because I'm training those every single time I train. So that's been beneficial. The downside to that is that if you're crazy busy like we've been lately, it's easier to be like, I don't know, like we have not worked out like we need to be lately.
You must have been doing it longer, because you were doing this when we went to California. So it was like we went to California in October.
Yeah, maybe I've been doing it for 4 months.
Like either September or October is when you started.
October, November, December, January. Yeah, maybe 4 months. But yeah, so there's that. All right, let's open it up for discussion with anything else y'all want to talk about. Greg says, "What's up, man? Hey, Greg, how are you? Hi, guys. Toasted almond coconut, still my favorite. Melbourne cookies was good, though. Glad that you like them both. Toasted almond coconut is pretty good." All right, throw some questions our way, y'all. Lots of people jumping on the IG. Let me get into here. We got Triple G in the house. What's up, man? Jennifer says, hello, beautiful people. Hello, Jennifer. Truckology 101. Hey, guys, finally I catch you live. Let's get together and chat about the next truck wrap you want to do. My split lately has been full body compounds 2-3 times a week. It's been hard to get the workouts in. Yeah, if you are limited on time or you just can't get in frequently, like if I'm crazy busy, which I have been for the past few weeks, and my workouts have not been where I want them to be, I'll at least try and get in and do the primary compound movements. Like yesterday, I did squat, and I did a full workout yesterday, but I did squat and barbell chest press. The day before that, I did like deadlift. So like making sure to hit those primary compound movements, if nothing else, because that's going to keep everything else at least firing, stimulated, and rocking and rolling. Rocking and rolling. All right. What other?
I'm not chatty today.
Yeah, we need some more questions, y'all. Did anybody else get some snow? We got like 4 inches of snow here.
Sure did.
Which is kind of wild.
See what our topic is for next week.
What's up, Bridgie? Sure.
All right. Our topic for next week is
just focus on not losing muscle during these busy times. Yeah, honestly, kind of like I said last time, it's hard to build muscle, but it's relatively easy to preserve the muscle you've got as long as you're stimulating the muscle. Much easier to keep what you got than it is to build more. So stimulate the muscle, making sure you're eating enough food, enough protein. That's gonna be the main thing. But if you're doing that, you're not really gonna just waste away into nothing. Even though it feels like it. Like if I miss 3 days in a row of working, I feel like I'm literally like falling apart. Not exactly the way it works.
We don't have any topics for moving forward into the next few weeks, so you guys need to hit us up with some questions for sure.
Hit us up with some questions for sure. Anybody get a hoodie? If so, did that get to you already? And how do you like it? How's it fit? How's the feel? Is it comfortable? 12 inches of snow in Maine on Monday. More coming tonight.
Ooh,
that's a lot of snow. That's a lot more than we got. How many sets per muscle group per week is needed to grow? Is 4 to 6 sets 2 times a week enough? So let me read this again. How many sets per muscle group? When I'm doing sets, I typically do 4 sets per exercise, and depending on the split, I'm either doing, like if I'm doing a full body split, I'm doing like 1 exercise for that muscle group, but I'm doing it 5-6 days a week. So I would say I would say a good set range per muscle group a week would be 4 sets, at least 2 exercises twice a week. So 4 times 2. I would say like, I don't know. What do you think?
What are you trying to figure out?
How many sets per muscle group per week is needed?
I would say like every time you go in to do your workout, I do about 4 to 6 sets per workout.
I would say
Per body
16
part.
sets per muscle group would be a pretty good minimum a week. 16 sets per muscle group.
That's a
per
lot.
week.
So if like you go in and do
4 sets, 2 exercises. So like you do 2 exercises for chest.
sets. I was thinking like
Yeah, sets.
I was thinking of
Not exercise.
Sorry, I was thinking of exercises. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. All right, Rigel's got a power cord over here.
Sure does.
That's my
He's
podcast
all
cable.
about the cords these days.
All right, what else we got? Any other questions, y'all? Lay it on us. It is kind of a weird snow day. I feel like a lot of people are not in their normal routine right now.
Yeah.
Do you have any competitions in the near future? So I'm going to start my prep in April with the plans of competing in the fall season. First competition being mid-October or
Sometime in
mid-September.
Yeah.
Maybe it's early October.
Early October.
Early October pretty much time frame. So that's the plan there. Don't eat it. What about you, babe? Any competitions?
0 competitions, sir.
0 competitions, sir. Rigel's a competition. What else we got, y'all? Any other questions? Lay it on us. We can do a shorter one today if y'all want, but I like talking with y'all. So you're down to chat if y'all are down to ask us questions. When or will the competitions be streamed? I don't know. I don't think so, honestly. I'm gonna vlog the whole thing. Like I'll bring my media guy. We'll get a bunch of great footage of it all. But
hopefully, sometimes the competitions really tick me off because they don't allow you to do photography in there. One year, I took our camera. Obviously, I'm not a professional videographer or photographer, but I had our camera in there, and I was just getting video clips, and they asked me to like put it away, and I'm like, am I supposed to just get it on my cell phone? Like that's ridiculous. And
yeah,
it's because they hire someone to come and do all the pictures, and they want you to pay for it, which I totally get. But at the same time, for people like us who want videos and like full vlog content, it doesn't really make sense. So we might have to like call in advance and see if we can get like a what is it, a voucher, like a
backstage
media voucher
pass
or something like that. Yeah.
But I bet at this show, we're like the promoter and I are pretty close. I've had it on the podcast a few times.
That's true.
Like it should be fine.
It changed ownership.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Because it was the same show that actually got me in trouble last time.
All right.
Which I don't know, if you guys know me, you know I am a rule follower.
Yeah,
I'm not. So me getting in trouble for something like that was so embarrassing.
If I'm just trying to stimulate the muscle, do I need to increase the weight or reps every few workouts, or just feel the muscle and make sure I feel the workout? I would certainly try to increase the weights. That's going to be better. Like you want to try and push failure. You don't have to go to failure on everything by any means, but you definitely want to try and increase the intensity when possible. So I think it makes sense for sure to try and go beyond just simply feeling like you can feel the muscle and you can get some pretty good blood flowing at a very light weight. And that will do well to preserve what you've got. But I would try to push the envelope and go heavy when possible.
Got a couple over here.
I'd love to come spectate your comp, says Greg. I'd love for you to, brother. Mom to go. Best way to reverse diet and what calories would be good to get to at 5'4", 126 pounds of lean muscle mass. You're currently 5'4", 126 pounds of lean mass. Well, that's your total mass. When it comes to reverse dieting, he is not a happy camper. When it comes to reverse dieting, I would recommend. Sheesh, right. We'll give Roger a minute to get his latch on there.
He's got it. He's good.
All right. When it comes to reverse dieting, you don't want to necessarily have like a specific, target calorie intake and then just jump to that. You want to kind of go up gradually. Okay, yes, you're 240 total mass. Okay. So I don't know what your intake is currently. But I would just recommend increasing calories by like 25 or 50 a week. That's not a ton. You could accomplish that by 5 or 10 grams of protein or fat. So just increase that gradually week after week after week, 1 week at a time. Maybe bump up protein 5 grams this week, bump up fat 5 grams next week, or 10 grams protein this week, 5 grams fat next week, something like that. Very gradual. But that's going to be the best way to do, and not put yourself in risk of unnecessary body fat gain. You were 1,700 to 1,800, so that's not crazy low. I mean, there's some people that need to reverse that. They're chronically like 800 calories. So I'm glad to hear that you're much higher than that, 1,700, 1,800. I would say I like to see all my female clients maintaining a healthy composition and weight north of 2,000 calories. Typically, around 2,500 calories, depending on how much muscle they have, et cetera, et cetera. Crystal, she's been maintaining her weight at like 2,800 calories. Sometimes she'll have a high day of 3,200 calories, and she's maintaining her weight. That's good because when she does a cut, she has a lot of caloric runway. So the higher you can get that, the better. Been much lower. Yeah. 1,700, 1,800 is not crazy low, but I can imagine if you reverse dieting, you were much lower at some point prior to that for sure. Okay, so Duncan or Do's and S says, I usually do bigger muscles first. However, arms are lagging behind. Should I do triceps before bench for more arm stimulus, and also then biceps before back? Yeah, if you are, biceps are a very small muscle group compared to the back. Triceps are a very small muscle group compared to the chest. So I like pre-fatiguing the muscle a little bit. So I like doing something before I try for my primary lift. But if you are lagging in your arms, then yeah, prioritize those in the workout. My arms are probably my best, body part. So I typically don't focus on them. I'll kind of save them for the end because like it's not something that I'm trying to grow, significantly more so than the rest of my body. But if that's a lagging body part for you, then yeah, I would prioritize that. Try and put more emphasis towards that in the workout. Got it. Thanks. You bet, brother. Okay, I need to start lifting heavy. Yeah, lifting heavy is great, especially if you're trying to reverse diet. Like if you're increasing calories and you want to minimize unnecessary body fat gain, the best way to do that and the best way to just, hedge your bets, so to speak, is to make sure you're training hard throughout the reverse diet. That's way any weight that you, not any weight, but that way you can kind of prioritize the weight that you do gain, be partitioned mostly to lean mass instead of unnecessary body fat. Thank you. You bet, man. All right, what else we got, y'all? Any other questions? Lumen. What's up, Dakota? You just jumped on here, brother. How you doing? Crystal is feeding Ryder. He's quieting down now, so he's good. He got some milk coming in. Any other questions, y'all? Any other questions for us? Keto Theo 218. What's up, man? You are looking crazy lean, by the way. So Theo is one of my clients, and he is looking absolutely shredded right now. He's got striations coming through in his chest. So it's always exciting when you see that. What's up, brother? What else? What else, y'all? Anything else to add, baby? Nothing. All right. Well, we don't have a question for next week, or we do?
We do not.
We do not have a question for next week. So we need a question for next week. Doc wants me to rest 7 to 10 days after the snip. What are your thoughts after the snip? I'm assuming you're talking about a vasectomy. I don't know. That's a rough one.
I would take the rest. I used to work in a urologist's office, and you do not want to have to come back.
Yeah. Crystal used to work in a urologist's office, and you do not want to have to come back.
I used to work in a urologist's office, and we used to do vasectomies all the time. And they're not that bad, but you don't want to have, it's still a surgery, and you don't want to add any additional pressure. So I would take a few days off for sure. But I mean, maybe in the last couple days, just do something pretty light or like upper body or something like that. Yeah, you could
probably do like some dumbbell press or like some,
or even just some band stuff. Like just get some stimulation. You don't have to do like a crazy heavy hard workout. Just like get some muscle stimulation, so you're not just like sitting stagnant for a week.
1 urology visit max. Yeah. Do you have a video about reverse dieting? Yes, we have several videos on the YouTube channel and on the podcast about reverse dieting. So definitely check those out. How's the weather? We got about 4 inches of snow. It didn't get crazy cold though. Like our cold plunge tank never froze. So it didn't get that cold. Can you do a cut with BBB and eat bacon, butter, beef, and eggs? Yes, you can do a cut with any type of diets. It's just simply a matter of tracking the macros, getting everything dialed in, making the manipulations week to week, and tracking how your body composition is changing. But yeah, you can totally do it with beef, butter, bacon, eggs. Pretty much what I do my prep with, honestly. All right, anything else, So we need questions. Like I said, we need questions for next week. So whoever submits the next question that would be a good topic for next week, let us know. Write it down, send it through, and we will use that question for next week. 365 Savage shirts coming soon. They may be. This is actually just a test print on a hoodie, but I like this design, so we may rock this. Genuine Fitness Training. We were actually just talking about you, man. People were asking about when I'm going to do another competition, and I was talking about your show. It's going to be mid-October in Washington State. Check it out. Crystal was wondering, we're gonna try and vlog the whole thing, for media purposes. Most of the shows have a lot of rules on not being able to have an interchangeable lens camera because they want the show photographers to do their thing. But can we vlog? I'm assuming we could probably vlog the event. Yes, sir. Washington State Natural. Yep, that is definitely the show to go to. Hopefully we can vlog everything. Have a camera there for that. Just let us know, brother. I'm going to get you on the podcast here soon, too. We got that coming up here soon. What is your point of view on protein-sparing modified fast or more aggressive cuts for shorter periods of time? I am not a fan of protein-sparing modified fast. I've talked about that on multiple videos, multiple podcasts. I'm not necessarily opposed to aggressive cuts, but protein-sparing modified fast oftentimes recommends like 500, 600, 700 calories. Rigel, my 8-month-old infant, eats more than that. You are a full-grown adult. You should definitely eat more than an 8-month infant. I do not recommend protein-sparing modified fast. Yes, you can vlog it. Awesome. So we got the green light from him. So it's all good. We're going to get the whole thing videoed. Let's see here. Any suggestions for eating and lifting schedule for a night shift nurse working 3 12s?
What was the question? Sorry.
Any suggestions for an eating and lifting schedule for a night shift nurse working 3 12s? I would probably you could do like a full body, or you could do the push-pull split and have that time so you're training on your off days. Are the 3 12s like back to back to back, or is it like staggered, or how is that?
And are you staying awake through the night on your days off, or are you doing a regular schedule where you're staying awake through the day on your days off?
Yeah, let us know that. We can give you some more clarity. Let's see here. Yeah, I would imagine it would probably be 3 days, bam, 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 right?
I don't know. It depends on the hospital or
Let us know on
clinic
that.
or wherever they're at.
But if there's any time in between, I would recommend, just a simple, push-pull leg routine, or do something basically on your off days.
On your off day. Yeah, because I mean, if they're, did they say they're a nurse?
Flipping back to regular schedule.
That's hard.
Yeah, that's rough.
Okay,
I used to work night.
So for the eating aspect of things, keep things as much regular as you possibly can. So on your days off.
It's kind of weird that nobody can see you.
Sorry. Well, he likes to pull away these days, and I'm afraid I'm going to just flash the whole world in here. Anywho, so for an eating schedule, I would figure out what's going to be the best and how you can maintain.
Your nipple's going to pop out on the video here.
I know, that's what I'm saying. All right, we can be done here. Yeah, I know. But keep the same schedule for eating, both on your days off and your days on. That is what has worked best for my clients that also work night shifts. And it keeps your body kind of like in the same rhythm and same routine, even though you're staying up all night. It's just, honestly, overnight shifts are just really hard. They're really hard on your body. But I would try to keep your eating schedule the same every single day, or as close to the same as you can. And then your workouts, I would definitely just do those on your off days. 3 or 4 days a week.
Would be good. I can schedule them 3 days in a row if that works out better. That would probably work out better from your sleep standpoint. You just kind of like bite the bullet, have your night shift for those 3 days in a row, and then when you switch back to your normal schedule, you'll have more consecutive days of sleeping normally. I would think that'd work better from a circadian rhythm standpoint. 3 kids and a hubby. Whew, that's a lot.
Oh, you have so much going on.
Yeah. All right, here we go. What do you think about using a timer and doing sets every minute? So every minute on the minute training, EMOM, every minute on the minute, EMOM, yeah. I like it for HIIT style training. I don't really do it for resistance training. Like I'll do it for HIIT style cardio. Like if I'm doing it on a bike or something like that, or sprints, I like it for that. But for like weight training, I just like being more intuitive. Plus, I superset almost everything. I train very intensely. I drop set things. I superset things. Like I don't really take long breaks. If you're somebody that sits on your phone for 5 minutes between sets, then yeah, you probably want to get that dialed in and have it timed.
And also, there's nothing wrong with like if you want to just sprinkle it in every once in a while. Like that's kind of a fun thing. You want to do more of like CrossFit style or whatever, just randomly. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like have fun with it. Do what you enjoy as well as what's going to get you to your goals. So that would be my thing. Like if you really like that and you think it's fun, then like sprinkle it in every once in a while.
Boom. Rigel's quite the blend up, y'all. Yeah, he's the best.
He is. It's so funny. People are like, oh my gosh, he looks just like you. Oh my gosh, he looks just like Robert. But I think he truly is like a blend, and every once in a while he'll have like more of Robert or more of me, but
Boom.
It's pretty fun.
All right, y'all. We're gonna call it a wrap. We're 31 minutes 48 seconds in, but it's always a pleasure chatting with y'all. We love you bunches. We will talk to y'all soon, and you'll have a wonderful week, and be safe if you're in a bunch of snow and ice. Drive safely.
And we didn't pick a topic for next week, so
I got a topic idea.
Oh, just kidding. Robert has a topic idea.
Overnighted are absolutely rough. I've been very strict about not eating during my shift, followed by a morning fasting workout, but then getting adequate rest comes into play as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is definitely rough.
Yeah.
I used to do that when I worked at the railroad. It was like a month of days, a month of nights, 12-hour shifts, 4 on. It was just total chaos. Definitely make sure you're getting sleep. Ample sleep is key.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Much love. Talk to you next time. Ta-ta for now.
Bye.